Hi, I'm Luce. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. Today I am kicking off the start of a month-long vlog. So if you haven't seen my July TBR, I have got my bestie Ruth to pick me 10 books to read throughout the month of July. So I did this in May with my bestie Caitlin and I had such a good time doing it. I read so many good books. So I decided to do it again for July, but with Ruth. So I am actually starting this vlog on the 5th of July. So we're already a couple of days into the month and I have actually already completed one of the books that is on my TBR, which is A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett Sinclair. So this one is a kind of urban fantasy romance, Hades and Persephone retelling. I gave this a 3.75 stars. I had a really good time with this one. I will say this book was definitely kind of silly. Our main girly Persephone I do think was pretty dumb. Like, she made a lot of, I think, really stupid decisions and did a lot of really dumb stuff, but I still really enjoyed it and I am definitely going to be continuing on with this series. Like I said, this is a urban fantasy kind of modern retelling of Hades and Persephone. So in this, Persephone is a uni student and also has an internship at this really big prolific news organization, and Hades is a club owner who is notorious for making bargains with mortals. And Persephone ends up accidentally in a bargain with Hades in which she has to create life in the underworld, which for her is a little bit of a problem because even though she is a goddess of spring, everything that she touches, like plant life, withers and dies. So it's gonna be a little bit of a challenge for her, and it's obviously a romance between the two of them. So yeah, like I said, I finished this last night actually, and what I will say actually about this book is I feel like this ended on quite a well-rounded note. So I am curious how this is going to continue on as a series, because there is 4 books in this series following Persephone's perspective, and there is also, I believe, 3 books following Hades' perspective, which I think you're supposed to like alternate between the Hades and Persephone perspective books. So the next one that I will be reading in this series is, I think, this book, but from Hades' perspective. So yeah, I'm very curious to see how the rest of this series is going to go. But that then leaves me with what to read next. So I did actually start the other day listening to Graveyard Shift by ML Rio as an audiobook on my Spotify, but my Spotify hours hadn't refreshed for the month, so I got like 15 minutes in and then I was told that my hours had run out. So they have refreshed now, so that one's so short. It's like, I think with my listening speed it's literally going to be an hour, so that one I think will be a breeze. I'm definitely planning on finishing that over the weekend, and then I think the next audiobook I'm going to listen to after that is Don't Let the Forest In by CJ Drews, which is the other horror book on my TBR. But I think the next book that I want to read on my Kindle is A Soul to Heal by Opal Rain, which is the second book in the Duskwalker Bride series. I did read the first chapter last night just to kind of see if I was in the mood for it, and I think that's going to be my next pick. And then physical read, I have 2 books that I'm planning on reading physically, which are Darker by 4 by Jean C.L. Tan and Cage of Dreams by Rebecca Schaeffer. And I think I'm gonna read Cage of Dreams. That one I think should be a really quick read. First one I like flew through, I got through really, really quickly, so I think that's gonna be my plan. But yeah, that is the start of this vlog. I have a couple of things going on in July. Today, because like I said, it's the 5th of June, it's a Saturday, we are going to visit my boyfriend's sister, going out for dinner with her and her partner. And then next weekend I am in London on the Saturday we do this kind of like annual barbecue with my group of friends, and yeah, that is next Saturday, so that's gonna be very exciting. And then the weekend after that I am meeting up with one of my besties, Claudia, who I haven't seen for ages, and I think we're going to be meeting in Bristol and like doing something fun there, so very excited about that. So I've got like not a super busy month, but like a little bit more than I would normally be doing in a month. I am somebody who likes to sit at home and rot, basically. I like to play my games, read my books, just absolutely vibe. So yeah, a little bit busier, but I am very optimistic that I am going to get through this TBR. I am really, really excited for everything that Ruth picked for me. Also, as another note, I just wanted to show off my shirt, as I am prone to doing in my videos. This is a jersey for my favorite League of Legends team that my brother got me actually for my birthday. So it is a Lost Returns jersey. It's got a little logo on the front, and then on the back, am I going to be able to show this in any kind of good way? Maybe not, but it has Venus on the back, which is my League of Legends name, so it's very, very cool. But yeah, that is the start of the vlog. That is my little reading update. I will come back to you either once I have made some more progress in A Soul to Heal and I have a little bit more to talk about with it, or when I have finished Graveyard Shift. Okay, hello. It is now, what day is it? Wednesday. It is Wednesday. It has been a little while since I came to you with an update, but I have done quite a lot of reading actually since I last updated you. So I'm pretty sure the last time I updated you was on Saturday before I went out for dinner, and I had just finished A Touch of Darkness. But I'm now in the middle of 3 books. So I am obviously here to tell you about them, let you know what's going on. I'll start off with the one that I'm the furthest into. I'm almost 50% of the way into Cage of Dreams by Rebecca Schaeffer. This is the sequel to City of Nightmares, which I read last year and absolutely loved. So I was very excited to get into the sequel, and I am happy to report that I am loving the sequel just as much as I loved the first one. I was a little bit worried because I remembered what happened in City of Nightmares, but not all the details. So I was a little bit worried that I was going to be kind of lost, but I think that this book does a really, really good job of recapping what happened in the first one without feeling like kind of annoying about it like some books do. So I can't tell you anything about what's going on in this book, obviously, because it's the sequel. But in the first book, we follow our main character, Ness, who lives in a world where there is this, the best way I can describe it is it's like a disease that when you are sleeping will turn you into your worst nightmare, which is what happened to her sister. Her sister turned into this giant man-eating spider and has traumatized Ness. And so she goes to this place, which I can't remember, it's the Friends of something, which is basically like a religious organization, but also offers therapy for people to kind of like deal with their problems. And so Ness goes there because basically they offer her free accommodation and she gets therapy for her trauma. And so she is going on like a mail run for this place, and stuff starts to go crazy, basically. I don't really want to say pretty much anything about the plot of this one because I had so much fun just kind of uncovering what was going on with this series, like as I was reading the first book. And yeah, like I said, I'm loving book 2. I'm on page 153, which I read pretty much all of that in one sitting. Like I could not put it down. So this is one that I think I'm going to be finishing either today or more likely tomorrow. Then I think in my last clip that I said I was going to start reading A Soul to Heal on my Kindle, I changed my mind. I decided I actually wanted to listen to the audiobook of this because I realized that the entire series is on Everand. So yeah, Soul to Heal, once again, showing the gorgeous, gorgeous copy. This is the fake rate copy. But I am 89 pages in right now, so I'm only 16% in. But the male narrator for this book is everything to me. Is absolutely everything to me. This is duet narration, which I didn't realize. I thought it was just going to be like dual narration. It is duet narration. And where's my phone actually? Because I want to just like play a clip so you can hear what this man's voice sounds like, because I was listening to it while I was getting ready this morning and like, my goodness.
Restless, Amos continued to shuffle his weight between his hands, his desire to charge ever growing, and the inability to do so.
Like it is so deep. It is so deep. Very big fan of that. But yeah, this is the second book in the Duskwalker Bride series. Our 2 main characters, one who is called Delora, who she's basically been thrown into the Veil, which is like the realm of the demons and the Duskwalkers, for a murder that she committed. And then we follow our other main character, who is called Nameless, who is a Duskwalker who doesn't have a name, is kind of just trying to basically just learn. He's trying to figure stuff out, and he is so sweet. He's so lovely. We meet him in book 1 and I absolutely adored him in book 1. It's gonna be him and Delora's love story. Not enjoying it as much as I did the first one, purely because of our main character. It's kind of difficult to talk about because she committed this murder and she's dealing with a lot of regret, but not, I think more so because of how her life has turned out because of it, not because she actually regrets the murder. And she's also, I think, very clearly dealing with depression. And as a depressed girlie myself, I relate to it and I understand it, but I think, unfortunately, the way that it's kind of manifesting with her is making her kind of mean. And because I love our soft Duskwalker boy so much, the fact that she's been kind of mean to him when he's just trying to help her is like, bothering me a little bit, but I know that this is, you know, I'm basically just at the start really, so I'm sure that she's gonna like have a lot of character development and things are gonna change. I'm still enjoying it, just not as much as book 1 right now. And then the final one that I am reading, which I have on my Kindle, is Trist Six Venom by Penelope Douglas, and I'm having so much fun with this one. This is a sapphic bully romance, and I really enjoy it. I love Penelope Douglas's books. I have read the first 2 books in the Devil's Night series, and I've also read Birthday Girl. Loved all of those. And so you give me all the stuff I love about Penelope Douglas books plus sapphic. Like, I'm so in. I'm so in. So this follows our 2 characters, Liv and Clay. Clay is kind of like your typical rich, popular girl in school. Like, she's blonde and skinny, and she's like on the sports team. She has like a boyfriend who's one of the popular boys. She's got a kind of like sad and depressing home life, but like, you know, outwardly she's like the girl that everyone wants to be. Then we have our other main character, Liv, who is, I would say, the complete opposite. She comes from a family where she's lost both of her parents, and she is kind of being raised by, and also simultaneously kind of raising, her 5 brothers. They're kind of perceived as kind of like the bad kids almost, and for reasons that we're kind of not, I'm gonna be honest, don't really understand. Clay has decided to bully the ever-loving shit out of Liv. To me, it's very clear that she, if not in love, she at least has a crush. She's at least attracted to Liv. But obviously, like, I think a lot of this book, at least from the perspective of Clay, about kind of like realizing your sexuality, coming to terms with that, etc. But yeah, I will say the bullying in this, especially from Clay's side, like there was one scene that I read the other night, which like genuinely like, it was mean. Like, I know it's a bully romance, but I'm used to, at least with contemporary bully romances, being a little bit more silly in the bullying. But like, this was mean. And I mean, she fully acknowledged it afterwards. She was like, I think I took that too far. That was too much even for me. But like, I was reading it and I was like, Jesus Christ, like this is kind of a lot. But I just really enjoy it. There's something about the way that Penelope Douglas writes that I find so compelling, and I always really like her characters as well, which is no different in this one. I really like both Clay and Liv. But something that I actually didn't realize, which, I mean, I wouldn't have until I read this, but their new book, which is called 5 Brothers, is like a spin-off of this, because Liv has 5 brothers and it's about those 5 brothers. So that's fun. I really enjoy what I've seen of her brothers so far in this, so I'm definitely kind of more intrigued to read that. But yeah, I'm on page 105 of this right now, which is 19% of the way through. So I'm on page 105. So like, normally in a book I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm on page 100. That's like a good amount of progress. This is a long ass contemporary romance book. So I am really enjoying it. I don't anticipate really that I'm going to be finishing either Assault to Heal or Trist Six Venom this week. Cage of Dreams, I think I should have done, but yeah, these 2 I definitely don't. But Friday night, Saturday, and part of Sunday, I am not gonna have any time to read. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. But yeah, on the Saturday we are doing my friend group, we do like an annual barbecue every year. We didn't last year actually, but like for the past couple of years we have. And so I'm gonna be going to that, which is gonna be in London. So that's why I'm kind of gonna be busy, because I'm like, I have to drive down to London, and then also like 2 of my other friends are like staying here. So like, there's a lot going on this weekend. So not sure how reading progress will be, but I will come back to you when I have, probably it'll be when I have finished Cage of Dreams, I think, because I should be done with that in the next like day or so. Okay, hello. It is now Tuesday, so I think it has been a week since I last updated this vlog. I have been kind of busy and also just like not really in the mood to be on camera, if I'm being honest. But yeah, it's Tuesday. So I think I mentioned in my last clip that over the weekend I was going to be going to a barbecue with my friends, which I did do. It was really, really fun, but it was hot. I don't know what it is, but every time we do this barbecue, we've done it, I think like, well, I've been like, I think 3 or 4 times maybe. It has always been over 30 degrees, which is not my favorite, but it was really nice to see all my friends, eat some really good food. So I was doing that on Saturday, and then on Sunday I was recovering from that. And yeah, so it's Tuesday now, so I've just kind of been having a bit of a lazy start to my week, but I do have some reading updates, which is of course why I'm here. So on Saturday before I went down to London, and then also on Monday, I did read Graveyard Shift by Emil Rio. I listened to this on audio and I gave this 3.75 stars. I really liked this. The only complaint I have about it, which I did put in my Goodreads review, was I wish this was a full-length book, because this is I think like 140 pages and I just wanted more of it. Because the thing that I have found with reading this and then also with If We Were Villains is I love the way that Emil Rio writes characters. I think that her characters are always so interesting and very flawed, but also really like compelling to read from. So I got really, really attached to the characters in this. I also thought that like the premise, the plot was really, really cool. So yeah, I think if this was like a full-length novel, like if this was even like 100 pages longer, if this was like 250 to like 300 pages, I think this could be a 5-star. But I did still really enjoy it, and it's made me even more excited for Emil Rio's new book, which is coming out at the end of the year. I can't remember the exact date, but it's Hot Wax. Me and Ruth are also going to a signing for that, which I'm so excited about. So yeah, that's the book that I have finished. And then I have been making more progress into Trista 6 Venom. I am, I think, on page 207. Let me double check. Yeah, I'm on page 207, which is 37% of the way through. And I'm still really enjoying this one. I don't know what it is about it that I'm loving. I'm just having a really good time. One thing I will say as well, I saw this in a review. I can't remember who wrote it. I think it was Chandler, like Chandler Ainsley. The smut in this, we've only got like little bits of it, but like the smut in this is fantastic, which I kind of expected because I've read Penelope Douglas's other books and I know what the smut was like in those, but like I'm very excited for these two to finally have an actual proper scene, because like I said, we've just been kind of getting teased with bits. But I do have, let me see how long I have left. So my Kindle says I have 4.5 hours left until I finish this. So this one is definitely going to be done this week. And I'm also hoping to have A Soul to Heal done. I have been listening to the audiobook of this afternoon. The Walker Bride series is so interesting to me because it's monster romance, and yet it's so soft. Like the monster men are like such like sweet, lovely, like golden retriever little boys, and I really love it. Yeah, it's not what I expected when I started this series. I have 5 hours of the audiobook left to listen to, so like I said, that should definitely be done this week. I've also just realized I finished another book and I forgot to update. Let me quickly go actually get that. I finished Cage of Dreams by Rebecca Schaeffer, and I give this 4.5 stars. I love this duology. I really, really do. I think this is extremely underrated. Yeah, I just had so much fun with it. The only reason that this got a 4.25 as opposed to a 4.5 is just because there wasn't enough of my favorite character in it. He was missing a little bit from this one. But yeah, this was the kind of book that once I started reading it, I couldn't put it down. Like I read this book in 2 sittings. The way that Rebecca Schaeffer built this world and built the characters, I thought was so fantastic. And I also really liked our main character because she's a self-proclaimed coward basically. And I think that having a female main character who is kind of that more personality type as opposed to like, you know, the really strong badass character is really, really good and really fun to follow, and also made for some like fantastic character development for her throughout the whole book. So yeah, 4.25 stars. I am definitely going to be picking up more from Rebecca Schaeffer. I know she has I think it's a YA mystery series, a trilogy, which I really want to read, which I think is it called Not Even Bones, I think. So that is going on to my like very immediate TBR. But yeah, so I'm not making, you know, the quickest progress that I kind of wanted to, with this TBR, considering I have 10 books and I've read 3 so far. So I kind of need to step my shit up and read. But for the rest of this actual week, like the kind of work week, I haven't got anything going on. But yeah, even though I haven't read loads so far, I am once again really enjoying what I'm reading. I genuinely have so much fun with like these kind of like bestie picks my TBR videos, because number one, it's kind of getting me a little bit more out of my comfort zone, making me pick up books that I wouldn't necessarily always be reaching for, but also my friends know my taste well. So they are going to obviously pick books that they think I will like, which normally I end up loving. There's a really loud plane going overhead. That is, I think, everything that I wanted to talk about for this clip. I am going to get back to listening to A Soul to Heal. I will get back to you when I have some reading updates or just anything I want to yap about to go into this vlog. Okay, hello, happy Sunday. Please excuse the way that I look right now. I've just had a shower and I have on my old hair tie shirt because it's Sunday and I'm tired. Come on. I'm coming to you with an update because I have finished a book, which is Trist's Venom by Penelope Douglas. I finished this yesterday. I was supposed to be going to visit my friend yesterday, but I have had a really bad stomach pain flare up for the past like week, and she had really hard at work, so we decided to reschedule. So because I didn't go out yesterday, what I did do was read a lot, clean my house, and then my mum came over for dinner, which was very nice. But yesterday I did finish Trist's Venom by Penelope Douglas, and Kat, you were showing your ass. That's so rude. I did give it 4 stars, version on like a 3.75. I did really enjoy this book. Honestly, my only real criticism of it is I just think it was too long. Like, this book was almost 600 pages, and I just don't think for contemporary romance of this kind it needed to be that long. So it did drag out a little bit towards the end. I did skim a little bit, which like isn't crazy weird for me. Like, I do tend to skip epilogues in romance books because it's just like, we're gonna get married, we're gonna have kids, so like, you know, I don't need to read that. Yeah, I think for the most part Penelope Douglas has a really like compelling writing style. The way that they write does tend to really grip me and like engage me in the story, so I was still interested in it, and I liked the characters, I liked the character dynamics, I like the romantic relationship. I'm also excited to read Five Brothers. Please. I'm also excited to read Five Brothers because I know that is about Liv's brothers now. I will also say, I don't think I mentioned this in an update clip, I do know the origin of the name Trist's Venom because that's why Ruth picked it, because she didn't know what the title meant. Basically, Liv is one of 6 siblings who are known as the Trist Six because their mom was called Trista. That's basically where it comes from. But yeah, so that one is done. Did really enjoy that one. And my main reading plan for today is to finish A Soul to Heal, which I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not really enjoying at this point. I am really bored, and there was also, skip like 5 seconds if you don't want to know any kind of trope thing about this book, but spoiler, there's a surprise pregnancy trope, which I absolutely fucking hate. And so unfortunately that is kind of also ruining my enjoyment of this book. But honestly, like, what I was thinking about when I was in the shower this morning is A Soul to Keep. The first little bit and then into the middle point was quite slow. There was points where I felt like nothing's happening, you know, and then it really picked up and a lot of stuff happened. This book has the opposite, where I feel like at the start and towards the middle, it was interesting and there was stuff going on. And now that we've reached, I think I'm like 80% in, nothing's happening and I'm just really bored. And I do think that if I wasn't listening to the audio, which I do think the audiobook is fantastic, if I wasn't listening to the audiobook, this would be one that I either DNF'd or was just really skimming through. I'm going to keep going. I think I have like an hour and 40 left of the audio, so I'm gonna just like put my headphones in and then, I don't know, play some Animal Crossing or something while I get it done. I think another reason that this book also isn't working for me as much as I don't like our female main character. I find her really annoying. I'm really not a fan of her, and so she has her moments where I like her, and then she does something and I'm like, you reminded me why I don't like you. You reminded me why you pissed me off most of the book. So yeah, that is my main plan. And then I did start yesterday, I didn't get too far in, I think I'm like 45 pages in, I did make a start on City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards, which I am really enjoying. It's different than what I thought it was going to be. I don't know what I thought it was going to really be, but it does feel different. It does very much feel like a Crescent City inspired book, which again, I don't mind. I love Crescent City, but I can definitely see the inspiration in it, you know, in what I've read so far, but still enjoying it. I would like to read another like 50 pages of that, get to 100 pages, but my self-control is being tested right now because I was on Goodreads yesterday adding something to my want to read, and then, you know, you can like scroll down in the app and it'll show you like readers also enjoyed or like readers also shelved. There was this one and I was like, I like the cover of this. Let me have a look. It is a League of Legends Chinese web novel. A BL Danmei League of Legends web novel. And I have it downloaded on my Kindle, and the desire I have to just binge this silly gay League of Legends Chinese web novel is so insane. And I'm trying really hard, and because it's not like a book, like, you know, it's not like it's like 300, 400 pages and I could like speed through it. No. This is like 1,800 pages on my Kindle because it's a web novel. It's just a web novel that's just like all been compiled into one file. I want to read it so bad. So I'm trying to be really good and not read that, because I know myself and I know that if I start it I will be so completely absorbed and sucked in by it that I won't want to read anything else. So I'm staying strong. So I'm gonna read more Gods and Monsters, finish Sword to Heal, and then I might, it depends on when I finish it. I might start another audiobook tonight while I'm cooking dinner, which is either going to be Don't Let the Forest In or The Irresistible Urge to Fall for My Enemy. I don't remember if it's My Enemy or Your Enemy. The Irresistible Urge to Fall for an Enemy. I have both of them on audio. Those are both ones that I'm actually really confident that I'm going to enjoy for different reasons. I think Don't Let the Forest In seems like my kind of horror, like body horror, spooky cottagecore, queer yearning. Like, it seems like everything I'm going to really like in a horror book. And The Irresistible Urge to Fall for My Enemy, I think, from what I've seen, it seems like a rom-com. And I don't like contemporary rom-coms, but I like fantasy romance rom-coms. Hello again, Yumi. I like fantasy romance rom-coms. I think they're really fun. So I think that one's just going to be like almost like a little bit of a palate cleanser, like just a silly, fun, goofy time. Because City of Gods and Monsters, I don't think it's going to be like dark. I don't know, it doesn't seem like it's going to be like the most light-hearted, fun, silly, goofy one. So I think The Irresistible Urge could be like a nice palate cleanser between that. But anyway, I'm going to make my coffee. I have some leftover pizza for my lunch because I am healthy and nutritious. And yeah, I'm gonna go upstairs, just chill, listen to my audiobook. And I truly cannot wait for that to be done. So I will come back to you either later today or tomorrow with my like final thoughts on Assault to Heal. Okay, hello, I am back. Same day, same place, just hours later. And I did in fact finish Assault to Heal by Opal Rain. And I gave it 2.5 stars. I think the extra 0.5 was literally just because of the audiobook. I think that especially the male narrator was like really, really phenomenal, and he really carried kind of the book for me, if I'm being honest. All of my kind of previous complaints from the previous clips still stand. Okay, this might be like a little bit spoilery, so if you don't want to hit anything spoilery, then like skip ahead. I might put like a little timestamp. But the thing that really annoyed me, so I mentioned there was like a pregnancy trope, and I didn't like that anyway. And then specifically the way that Delora was with her kid, oh my god, Yumi, really annoyed me. So like there was a specific scene where, because it's a Duskwalker baby, the Duskwalker basically has to eat humans or demons or animals to, you know, gain intelligence and also to grow. And she was getting really annoyed that her kid was eating things because I like my baby the way he is. I don't want him to get any bigger. And like, it just really annoyed me, and she was so whiny about it. It just really pissed me off. Oh my gosh. And then there was a moment, like kind of, I don't know, I think it was probably like 85% in, where there was like a little bit of like actual kind of world plot going on, which I really, really enjoyed. I like the actual plot of this series is kind of going on, the wider plot. And so I was really excited when that came in. and it lasted for like 2, maybe 3 chapters, and then we were back to Delora being whiny and then just like random romance stuff. So yeah, 2.5 stars. I am definitely going to be continuing on with this series because I looked on Goodreads and this one, I think out of all of them, has quite clearly the lowest average rating. And I think that the main thing about this that kind of ruined it for me was the whole pregnancy trope thing. I'm definitely going to be continuing on with the series. We met as well at the end of this one, I think, who's probably going to be the Duskwalker for book 3, and he very much intrigues me. Like, I love the actual Duskwalkers in this series. I think that they are so cool and so interesting and so fun, so I'm like very big fan of them. So I will be continuing with the series, and I'm probably going to continue listening to the audiobooks as well because I had such a good time with this one. But now I am officially halfway through my TBR. It's a little bit late in the month, so like I think I'm gonna be kind of cramming to make sure that I finish this TBR this month. But I am about to cook dinner. I'm obviously in the kitchen again, so I need an audiobook to listen to, and I think I'm going to start, Don't Let the Forest In, because that one, I think it's on Spotify, so I have it in my kind of like premium monthly listening hours. I think the audiobook for that is only like 8 and a bit hours, so on the speed that I listen to, it'll be like 2-ish hours. So that one should be a really quick one to read. Oh my god, the other cat is here now. Hello, Mochi. So yeah, I think I'm gonna listen to that. Hopefully make like a decent start. And I'm not cooking for long today. In case anyone is interested, I do get HelloFresh 3 days a week. So I have this is the HelloFresh thing that I'm doing because I'm feeling lazy this week. So I just got really quick, simple recipes. Hello, we are here with another kitchen update. It is Sunday, so again, it's been a while since I've updated. I've been busy, I've had stuff going on, but I did finish yesterday City of Gods and Monsters by Kayla Edwards, and I gave it 5 stars. I loved this book. I loved it so much. I will say, and like this, I said this in my Goodreads review, our main character Lauren, I'm not really sure how you're supposed to pronounce it, she did drive me crazy. She was so dumb at so many points in time, and I did find the romance section of this a little bit cringe at some points, but I gave it 5 stars. I thought it was so much fun. It definitely does give Crescent City, but not in a like copy paste way, just more so in like the setting and like the vibes than the plot. Yeah, I did finish that yesterday, and I have made a start on Darker by 4, which I have also got on my Kindle. I am gonna read, it's like 1 o'clock almost, and so I'm gonna read for like half an hour this morning, and then me and my partner are going to IKEA to pick up a new bookshelf, which sounds more exciting than it is. I'm not just getting a brand new shelf, it is like a replacement shelf, because we have these 2 shelves in our spare room that have all like my graphic novels and manga on, and they were free, but they just don't really fit in that space very well. They're like too big, they're too chunky. So I'm buying a new Billy bookshelf from IKEA to go in my library and office, and then moving an old, I think it's an Argos shelf, into my spare room. So that's what we're doing today. We're going to go pick that up. I'm going to build it. So I'm going to be listening to like my audiobook while I'm like building shelves and moving books and stuff. And I haven't also given an update on the audiobook I'm listening to, which is Don't Let the Forest In. I think like 60% of the way through. I have like an hour left on my audiobook listening speed, and I'm definitely enjoying this book. I think it is very well written. I think it is very atmospheric, very spooky, very fun, very cool. I just think that I'm maybe reading it not at the right time, and I was saying this to Ruth. I listen to my audiobooks primarily when I'm cooking dinner, and listening to like spooky body horror while like cooking my pasta is a little bit weird. It's not quite a vibe match, so I think that might have a little bit of an impact on my enjoyment, but I still think it's gonna be like a 4-star in the end. So yeah, my plan is to listen to that, and then also if I finish that and I still have book stuff doing, then I'm going to be starting The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, which I'm very excited about. But yeah, it is like the 27th, I think, today. I still have 4 books to finish. So I might be being a little bit optimistic and thinking we can finish this TBR at the end of the month, but I am feeling hopeful. Maybe dumb, but I'm feeling hopeful. But yeah, I'm gonna go eat my lunch, drink my coffee, and then go to IKEA and get my new shelf. Okay, hello. It is Tuesday. Listen, I have been so useless at updating this vlog throughout the month. I don't know why I've been so bad, but I have been, and I'm sorry about it. I'm sorry. But we are on Tuesday the, what is it, the 29th. So I have, what, 3 days to finish my TBR? And originally I was thinking there's no way in hell I'm going to get it done. I'm feeling optimistic again because I have finished 2 books since I updated you last, which was, when was it? It was on Sunday when I went to get my bookshelf. I think I should have inserted some B-roll footage of my new shelf and what the shelves are looking like. But while I was doing all of that shelf building, moving, reorganizing books, all of that, I did finish an audiobook and make a massive dent into another one. So I did finish Don't Let the Forest In by CJ Drews, and I gave that one 4 stars. I did really enjoy it. I thought that the atmosphere mainly was absolutely phenomenal. The writing was really, really good at creating this really spooky, creepy atmosphere. I think that the horror elements were also done in a really cool and kind of unique way. The only reason that this kind of got bumped down a little bit for me was I liked the characters, don't get me wrong, but I didn't feel like this intense attachment to them, which, don't get me wrong, I don't normally in horror books, but I don't know, I just didn't feel as connected to them as I wanted to, but I did still really enjoy it. And I know that CJ Drews has another book coming out this year, which I think is in October. It's called like Hazelthorn or something like that. I am definitely going to be picking that one up. I'm really interested in reading more from this author. So yeah, a very, very solid 4-star. And then I listened to, I think like 60% of The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy, on Sunday. And then I did finish it off today. And I gave this 5 stars. This also is the Illumicrate edition. I think that the glare from my computer is going to make it look kind of crazy, but it is absolutely stunning. It's one of those dust jackets that they haven't done for a little while, which is the like clear see-through one. So this is the naked hardback. And then we have the end paper art, which again, absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I gave this 5 stars. Like, I was not sure going into this whether this would be my thing or not, because it was described to me as a rom-com. I am not a rom-com girly when it comes to contemporary romances or films or anything like that. It's not really my thing. But in this, it just worked so well. Like, the type of like snarky banter, for some reason in the fantasy setting, worked perfectly for me. Like, I was giggling listening to this audiobook, listening to these characters interact with each other. I had so much fun, and I am going to be sprinting for the sequel when this comes out. But this book, if you haven't heard about it, I feel like this was like a super hyped book for this year, but this is a, yeah, like I said, enemies to lovers, rom-com romantasy between a healer and an assassin. Our assassin has this disease type thing, which it is kind of, it's been told to him basically that it's incurable, and so he enlists the help of our healer, who is very reluctant to help him, on trying to cure this, and they end up, you know, and lots of shenanigans and tomfoolery occur during this, and I just loved it. I thought it was one of the most fun books I have read in a really long time. I feel like I don't have enough good things to say about it. Like, I've heard people say this before, and I fully agree. I struggle talking more about books that I loved than books that I didn't love. Because books that I didn't love, I can point out like, oh, I didn't like this, I didn't like that. Books I love, I'm just screaming and going, this was perfect. Pick this up, trust my recommendation. Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Easy 5-star for me. So that leaves me with 2 books left from the TBR with 3 days to go. So I think I did mention on Sunday in my update that I had started Darker by 4, and I did read more of that, so I am now on page 86 of it. And this one's a weird one for me because I am enjoying it. I think that the plot is interesting, the world's interesting, the characters are interesting, but for some reason I am struggling to keep my focus when I'm reading it. I just can't seem to fully immerse myself in it. So I have decided, since I finished my audiobooks that I actually had on my TBR for this month, to get this book on audio. But I haven't actually listened to any of the audiobook yet. That's going to be my job for the next like 2 days before the end of the month. But I have 2 hours and 25 to listen to. So that one I think is easily going to be done. But that one is a YA fantasy following 2 main characters, one who is an exorcist and the other who is from this really powerful family of exorcists, but he himself doesn't have any magic. And they end up meeting through not ideal circumstances, and through some other not ideal circumstances, she ends up giving her magical power to this boy. And I think that the rest of the book is going to be a lot about how to switch it back, how she can get her magic back. And yeah, like I said, I'm enjoying it. I think that the setting's really fun. I think the characters are fine. I like the idea of kind of like the magic system. I'm just not immersed in it. So I'm hoping that the audiobook will help with that, because I mean, listening to the audiobook, I'm kind of forced to immerse myself in it, if that makes sense. So yeah, that one's fun. And then the final book on the TBR I have started as well, which is Pole Position by Rebecca J. Caffrey, and I am 58 pages in of what, 367, and it's a contemporary romance. So this one I truly do not think I'm going to have any problem finishing before the end of the month. And this one I am enjoying just fine. This one is a queer I think it's Formula One. They haven't specifically said it's Formula One. It's just racing, but I think it must be Formula One. Romance, basically. They race cars, they don't like each other, and they end up in a romance. So one of our main characters is kind of like the golden boy of the sport. His dad was a really well-respected, really well-renowned racer until he had a scandal that kind of forced him out of the industry. And then our other character is a racer from kind of like the lower bracket, who due to some unfortunate circumstances from some other people has been brought up to race alongside this golden boy in the higher bracket. And golden boy doesn't like the other boy for reasons that truly I don't understand, if I'm being honest. So they have, it's not like enemies to lovers, it's like, we don't really like each other to lovers. I think that my main issue right now with it, well, I said I'm enjoying it, don't get me wrong, I think this is going to be like a 3-star at the lowest, but my main thing is I don't really like either of the characters, because our golden boy is like a little bit too stuck up almost. Like he has, you know, he's dealing with mental health stuff. Like his family situation is complicated. He doesn't have any seemingly relationship with his dad. His mum has been diagnosed with Parkinson's. Like he's got a lot going on. But just the way that he acts towards our other main character, to me, just feels completely uncalled for. Like, not just kind of like, oh, funny, you know, whatever. It just feels a bit like, it feels rude, honestly. And I mean, I'm only like 58 pages in, so I'm sure that's going to change. But I'm not the biggest fan of that. And then our other boy, like, he's got the kind of characteristic of being like a little bit of like a playboy, party boy, doesn't take anything too seriously, but also has a complicated family dynamic. You know, he doesn't seem to have any relationship whatsoever to his parents, and he kind of wants to, like, you know, his success almost kind of means like sticking it to his parents and almost getting revenge on them for something. So he's got that kind of personality, but that also manifests in a way that I find a little bit grating, because it's kind of like you have this phenomenal opportunity that you have been given, and you're kind of like spitting in the face of it because of this whole like, I just want to have fun and like me. So the characters are grating, but I have full faith that it's going to kind of turn around for me a little bit. I'm, like I said, 58 pages in, 16% of the way through. So if the characters become less unbearable, this could be like a solid 4 for me. If they stay being unbearable, this I think is probably going to be a 3, 2.53. I have 2 books to finish and 3 days to finish them. So we'll see how it goes. We'll see. If I don't finish my TBR, it's not like nothing's gonna happen to me. No one's gonna shoot me. Everything's gonna be fine. I just would like to finish it. So yeah, we'll see how it goes. Actually, before I go as well, because I showed you my beautiful Illumicrate copy of The Irresistible Urge, I did get my, obviously, Illumicrate and then my other Fairy Loot boxes in think over the weekend, I think it was. So I am quickly going to show you those because they are very pretty. So if you don't know, I have a problem when it comes to book subscriptions in that I have too many of them. So I do have all 3 of the monthly Fairy Loot subscriptions and then also the Epic Fantasy one. So I have the 3 Fairy Loot ones here. So the Romantasy one is Arcana Academy by Elise Kova. I have been really excited about this one because I've only read 2 books by Elise Kova. They are, oh my god, what are they called? The Alchemist of Loom and the Dragons of Nova, which I really enjoyed both of those, and I do still really need to read the 3rd one. And I have another Elise Kova book on my shelves. I have a couple on my Kindle. So she's an author that I am really excited to read. And this one, like I said, is the Fairy Loot Romantasy edition. So we have obviously beautiful foiling, sprayed edges, a kind of simple naked hardback, which I do like, the end paper art, and then I could be wrong, but I think this is just the standard cover on the reverse. I'm not really sure. This one, honestly, I really don't know much about. I just kind of was excited to read because it's Elise Kova. I'm also assuming because of the word academy in the title that it's going to be an academy setting. But yeah, this is the July Fairy Loot Romantasy pick. Then we have the adult pick, which I feel like I've seen people now that this has come talk about this book and like be excited about it and say like, oh, this was a book I was really looking forward to. I had literally never heard of this book before I got it in my Fairy Loot box, but this is A Dance of Lives by Brittany Arena. This I believe is just a colorway change of the original. I think the original one's more blue, this one's more green, but I mean, it's a gorgeous cover. We have the edges, the back. The naked hardback I think is so pretty. I love when both Fairy Loot and Illumicrate do this kind of naked hardback. And then we have the end papers. And like, this book is gorgeous, do not get me wrong. Like, this is the reverse dust jacket. Like, it's really pretty, but I don't know what it is. Something about this is just making it seem like this is not the book for me that I'm going to enjoy. Like, again, I could not tell you why, because I know fuck all about this book. Just something about the vibes don't seem like the kind of thing I'm going to enjoy. I'm going to give this a try because I tend to with my subscription box books, but just something about this doesn't seem like it's going to be a bit of me. The one that I think that I'm actually the most excited about is the YA book, which is the Nightblood Prince by Molly X Chang. I have Molly X Chang's other book, To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods, up there somewhere, and I do really want to read that, but this one is, I believe, the start of a new trilogy or duology, I'm not really sure. The cover is gorgeous with the sprayed edges. This naked hardback I love. I feel like I'm gonna damage it trying to do this. Oh, there we go. Like, that is stunning. We have the end papers, which I love. And then the reverse dust jacket is, again, I believe, is it a colorway change of the original or is it just the original? Again, I'm not really sure. But this one I know is a fantasy. I know it's YA. And I know it's a love triangle. And just something about the vibe of it. Again, vibes. I'm going purely off of vibes. Seems like the kind of thing I'm going to enjoy. It says 2 princes, 1 prophecy, a fate she cannot outrun. So this is one that I feel like I might try and get to sooner rather than later. Along with also trying to read To Gaze Upon Wicked Gods. I believe Emmy read it semi-recently and she really enjoyed it. And Emmy is one of the people that if she likes a book, then I'm probably going to either enjoy it or be very excited to read it. But that's my little subscription box haul. We're probably gonna have like only 1 or 2 updates left of this vlog because yeah, it's really near the end of the month and I am going to be cramming to make sure that I can finish my TBR. Okay, hello. We are here sometime in August. I'm not gonna specify because that's gonna make me aware of how much I've neglected ending this vlog, but we are into August and I did in fact finish my whole TBR for July. Woohoo! I may have finished it on the last day, but I still finished it. So yeah, I'm here to give you my thoughts on those last 2 books and also just wrap up this vlog as a whole. Okay, so out of the 2 books that I finished, I did have 1 DNF and then I did finish and enjoy one of them. So I'll quickly go through the DNF, which was Pole Position. This was such a weird kind of DNF for me because it wasn't that I didn't like the book. It wasn't that I hated it and like I just couldn't make myself finish it. I was just really bored. And again, it was the kind of book that like, if I really pushed myself, I could have finished and it probably would have been maybe a 2 or a 3 star read. I just couldn't be bothered. Like I was picking that book up and I was looking at it and I just felt like, ugh. And I think my main issue is the characters. I just didn't feel connected to the characters. I wasn't invested in the romance. And yeah, I was just bored. And it makes me sad because I really like the premise of the book and I like, you know, I'm mildly interested in F1. So I wanted a good romance in that sport, but unfortunately I just didn't get it. I am though willing to read more from this author because I believe she has a couple of other books out which sound kind of interesting. And then for Darker by 4 by June C.L. Tan, I did give this one it's a 3.75 star. And this one I did end up enjoying. I think I mentioned maybe in the last clip that I was struggling to kind of just focus on reading it. So I switched to the audiobook and the audiobook did help a lot. But my main issue with this book was just the romances. And this is a kind of complaint that I have with a lot of YA fantasy that I read, kind of mainly as an adult, which is that the romances feel like they are just thrown in there for the sake of having a romance. And I don't really like it. Unfortunately, that did kind of bring the rating down a little bit, I think, but I am definitely going to be picking up the sequel because I'm still intrigued on where it's going, and I believe this is only going to be a duology. 2.5, I wish it was a little bit higher because I was very excited about this one, but still a very solid book and still one that I would recommend. But yeah, that brings us to the end of the vlog. I think that this was very successful. I had 1 DNF this month, which like I'm not really that mad about, like it is what it is. I had 2 5 stars and I read a couple of books that I've been really meaning to but have just been sitting on my shelves not being prioritized. So yeah, overall I am very happy with my reading for this month. I am so thankful to Ruth for picking out my TBR. Ruth, if you're watching this, I love you very much. I'll definitely be revisiting this concept as well. I've had so much fun with both the Ruth and the Caitlin editions of this TBR little project. So yeah, I'm definitely going to be bringing this back. I have some ideas of who else I want to get to pick my TBR, but if you stayed to the end of this vlog, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please feel free to give it a like and subscribe if you feel like it. And hopefully I will see you in a new video again soon. Bye!